Yeat is dropping his new album, ADL, his double album, A Dangerous Life, A Dangerous Love, next week. Now it's official because the last video was still on Sunday, I believe, so that was still the week before. But now we can say it's dropping next week, and we just got a new snippet for this thing. And also big news when it comes to promoting this record, what Yeat posted himself. So today we're gonna take a look at that, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. You can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So we talked about all the latest news for ADL, that double record. We played the trailer in the last video. We're gonna do that a little later on in the video now as well, just so you know. But now we have to take a look at what's actually happened over the past couple of days, over the weekend, ever since we last talked about it. So as you know, we had the Grammys on Sunday, and this was after the last video dropped, and actually at an after party after the Grammys, at Anderson .Paak's after party, we had Yeat, Justin Bieber, and obviously Anderson .Paak link up, and they performed or played a potential snippet for ADL. Here is that clip.
Come on, what did I do? What did I do? If I didn't love you, I didn't love you. What did I do? If I didn't love you, I just wanna be the one.
Now let me know what you think about this, and I do think it's pretty remarkable to see Yeat in the company of a Justin Bieber just performing there, of Anderson .Paak right next to them. It's just really big names that are there right next to Yeat, who at this point is at the same level as them. It's just crazy to see. If you think about where Yeat was just 3 years ago, for example, 4 years ago, almost unknown, the rise has been crazy. But let me know what you think about the snippet. A lot of people have been saying they're really in love with this new style that he's going in. They really like it. Me, myself included, I like it. Let's see how it actually ends up sounding on the final record. Do let me know what you think about this. Next up, we also had big promotional news, because we've had big billboards in Times Square. No, you can't go any bigger with billboards in Times Square. Right here, you have a clip of what those billboards look like. As I said, pretty big. They are obviously showing his face. He's promoting obviously himself way more now. He's feel like he's way more comfortable now also being in the limelight. Maybe because he got in shape. I feel like he's way more comfortable being in front of cameras now than he was a couple of years ago, when he was still always wearing obviously the mask and the turban, all of that, which completely shifted, and I do think that's a pretty good sign. Artists that are able to shift some big elements of their identity usually perform better in the long run because they're more flexible in it. But it does say ADL, the album is coming March 27th, Yeat. So they're really pushing this, and at this point, again, I doubt that there will be a delay, just because they have it as big as this at this point. Next up, we have even more promotional footage, which is actually a billboard in LA now, which you can Here we have Day and Night by Kid Cudi, probably his biggest song, playing in the background. And just, I think the day of, Yeat also posted a picture of Cudi and him in the studio with ADL, just as a caption. This could obviously refer to Cudi being on ADL. Now, Cudi also announced that he's going to be dropping a new EP, I think this upcoming Friday on the 20th. I think that's when it's releasing. I don't know if there's any connection between that. If Cudi is going to end up on the record, I would be happy to hear that. I think that combo would be pretty interesting. Cudi was one of my favorite artists at a certain point in time, so I would be more than happy to actually hear him on the record, and I think that would be pretty cool. So that's all the latest news that we've gotten in the promotion for this thing. Now, as I said in the intro, we did just most recently, before the weekend, get the official trailer for this thing. If you haven't seen it yet, here is that trailer. Let me know what you think about it. Obviously, pretty cool. The last one got taken down, at least the audio. If you didn't hear that right there, then it got copyrighted again, but you can still see the trailer, and if you go to a social media, then you can also watch it with sound. Also, what I did want to mention again, just because I thought about this after the last video as well, the Nike collab that Yeat is doing is really huge, and the more I think about it, the more it gets to me how big this really is. Having this Nike collab, selling Nike t-shirts with ADL on there, all for an artist like Yeat, who, as I said, just 4 years ago was a nobody, is truly a remarkable story right now. And thinking about how this album is then his most important, thinking about how he's pushing this, thinking about how this is likely going to be his most successful album just because of the hype, maybe also because of the people that he's working with on this record, is also crazy to think about. And we're going to hear it all just next Friday. That is when the album is releasing, which at this point is pretty exciting. And as always, as soon as anything new happens in the rollout for this album, I'll make sure to keep y'all updated, so make sure you stay subscribed not to miss out on any of those Yeat news. And also very interesting is that we haven't gotten a lot of leaks or a lot of snippets over the past couple of months, which usually is pretty big with Yeat, and people want to hear those snippets, they want to hear those leaks, they want to hear those grails on a record. But with this time around, and it's gotten less and less throughout his career, but this time around there's truly less leaks and snippets and unreleased, unofficial stuff than there ever was in the past. And I do think that's also a good sign when it comes to this record, because he's keeping it very tight, he's keeping it very just, you know, to what he's doing. He just wants to put this record out and let the music speak for itself. And from experience, you know, covering a lot of these rollouts, that's usually the best way to go about this. That's usually when you achieve the best result, the best music in the end. So that also makes me pretty excited for this new Yeat album. Anyway, I do want to know what y'all think about everything we discussed today. What do you think of the new snippet that we heard at the Oscars after party, which that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, hearing a snippet like that, him playing it himself, so it's not unofficial, it's not unreleased, it's from himself. What do you make of all the new promotional stuff that we've seen? And are you excited? Do you also think this is going to be his biggest album yet? All your thoughts on Yeat, ADL, and everything we talked about today in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.